It's 5:36. Let's return to the expected announcement by President Trump that Washington will break with decades of American policy in the Middle East by recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Mr. Trump is expected to authorize the process of moving the US Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, though that will take several years. The announcement, by the way, expected to come, well, within the next half hour or so in that speech that the President is likely to deliver. And joining me now is Avi Shlaim, who is Emeritus Professor of International Relations at Oxford University. And so good to have you with us. Thank you very much for your expertise on this today. What's the background to this?
This is an extremely irresponsible move on the part of President Trump. Irresponsible and reckless. And it amounts to a total reversal, abrupt reversal of American policy towards the conflict since 1967. Because after the 1967 war, Israel annexed the East Jerusalem, the Arab part of Jerusalem, but the Security Council declared the Israeli annexation null and void, and America was part of that. And American policy since 1967 has been consistent. It said that the settlements, the Israeli settlements on the West Bank, are illegal, all of them, and an obstacle to peace. So America has never recognized Israel's right to have Jerusalem as its capital.
With that in mind, how is this likely to affect the dynamics, the political dynamics across this entire region, which, as we all know, are fraught and extremely tense?
I believe that the regional background, the realignment of forces in the entire region explains this very, very bizarre move on the part of President Trump. Because what has been going on is the emergence of an alliance between the Trump administration, Israel, and the Sunni Arab states, especially Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. And it's an alliance and a united front against Iran. And in this realignment of forces, the Palestinian issue becomes fairly marginal. The Palestinians don't have any bargaining power. And this alliance is cemented by personal friendship between two important figures, Jared Trump, Jared Kushner, yeah, who is Trump's Jewish son-in-law, right, who is also a committed Zionist, whose family foundation supports the settlements, the Israeli settlements on the West Bank. And he established a rapport with the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, and they are both in the mid-30s. They are inexperienced, and I would say irresponsible as well. And Mohammed bin Salman is an unusually combative, yeah, Saudi royal. He is the architect of the war in the Yemen, which has brought the country to the verge of a humanitarian catastrophe. And we only have, President Trump promised us the ultimate deal on Israel-Palestine, but we only have vague details to put together. And my sense is that the plan that these two young men are concocting would say that there would be a Palestinian state in the Gaza Strip and bits of the West Bank, without territorial integrity, and the whole of Jerusalem would remain under Israeli control and Israeli sovereignty. This is a complete non-starter. It's offensive to the Palestinians. No Palestinian leader, however moderate, would agree to even discuss such a plan. And this is what everybody is telling President Trump. Mahmoud Abbas, the president, has told him that. He's warned him that this would be a very incendiary move, that it would strengthen the extremists, the jihadists, it would weaken America, it would isolate America, and it could spark off serious violence in the territories. And King Abdullah of Jordan has said the same thing to President Trump. And we have to remember that Jordan and Israel signed a peace treaty in 1994. Under this peace treaty, Jordan has a special responsibility for the Muslim holy places in Jerusalem. This recognition of East Jerusalem as Israel's capital completely nullifies the special responsibilities that Jordan has. And all the Arab leaders have said the same thing. And the Organization of Islamic States sent the same message, that this would be provocative, incendiary, and completely unjustified. But President Trump, as is his wont, doesn't listen to anyone. He does whatever he feels like doing, regardless of the consequences.
Professor Shlaim, it's very interesting to talk to you, and thank you very much for sharing your analysis today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Avi Shlaim there, who is the Emeritus Fellow of St Antony's College in Oxford, Emeritus Professor of International Relations and leading expert in this field, so good to have him with us today. The time is 5:43, and I'm just looking at some breaking news. The State Department asking officials to defer non-essential travel to Israel, Jerusalem and the West Bank until later this month, asking officials to defer non-essential travel to Israel, Jerusalem and the West Bank until later this month, presumably, Professor Shlaim is still with us, presumably because they anticipate there will be a bit of turbulence around this.
Yeah, indeed. This move by President Trump amounts to possibly putting the match to the barrel of gunpowder. There is so much tension, there are so many conflicts in this area that this could spark off a third intifada. And remember that the second intifada was sparked off by a provocative visit by opposition leader Ariel Sharon to Haram al-Sharif. That sparked off an intifada with a lot of violence and casualties that lasted 5 years. This could spark off a third intifada.
Professor Shlaim, thank you very much, and good of you to respond to that as well. Thanks very much indeed.